Welcome into the crease. And before gamer, someone who needs a lot of mental focus, W has the energy drink supplement for you, but they don't just have energy drink supplements. They have all kinds of other merchandise, shaker bottles, travel bags, gym bags, clothes, workout gear, anything you need. You can get it from W, but they also have hydration mixes. Everything you need, nothing you don't. None of that sugar, multidextrin, no fillers, no additives, no supplements, no colors and artificial colors and flavors or anything like that. It's all natural, all good for you, all healthy. So go check out W. You can use our code to get 10% off. The code is the house call, all caps. Once again, that's the house call, all caps. Or you can use the link in the description of this video to go get you some W and get that dub, baby. Now, so let's go ahead and move on to the Metropolitan. And the Metropolitan, much like the Atlantic, we have thought was well in hand. It has been controlled by the Rangers pretty much since, the opening whistle, opening puck drop of the 2023-2024 season. It's been the Rangers division. And since then, the Hurricanes have sort of come on. They looked a little rough early on. The Flyers are surprisingly still hanging in there. And you have the Devils who are, only 5 points back of the Flyers. They got 2 games in hand there. So they could realistically catch the Flyers. The Flyers haven't looked overly dominant, but once again, the Devils haven't looked overly dominant. But the only way either of those two teams makes the playoffs is by being in the top 3 of that division. So I'm going to go ahead and start this one off. I think the Rangers are going to hold on to this. Even though Carolina's playing really well, I don't see New York falling off enough for them to lose control of the Metropolitan unless something really drastic happens. I think they've just been playing as a unit too well. Carolina just came on too late. I think that, we were ragging on them earlier in the year for, kind of slow starting. They were supposed to be this, dominant force in the Metropolitan, and they just haven't looked it. So I'm going to stick with New York at 1. I think Carolina holds on to 2. The Flyers and Devils, to me, I think is where this division gets really, really interesting, is the 3 and 4 spot. I think the 3 and 4 is really, really interesting to me. I don't see the Islanders. I don't think they got enough. The Capitals are close, but I still don't think they have enough either to really get there. But I think the Devils and Flyers, we're going to be talking about that 3 spot in the Metropolitan come the end of the season, like the last 2 weeks of the year, last 2 weeks of the season. That 3 and 4 spot is going to be getting talked about because that's how those guys are going to get in. And I think that's going to be where this division is going to get talked about the most. I feel like 1 and 2 is pretty much cut and dry unless something really drastic happens. And honestly, the 3 and 4 spot. So I'm going to go ahead and say Rangers 1, Canes 2, and the Flyers fall off, allowing the Devils to slip in to a spot they have no right being in at the number 3 in the Metropolitan and make the playoffs. And then I really don't care how the rest of the division falls out. I'm going to go Islanders or the Flyers at 4, Islanders at 5. That's what I got right now. That's where I'm thinking this is at for the Metropolitan. Ian, what you got?
I'm almost right there with you. I agree. This division is the Rangers to lose. They just seem to be better set up than anybody else. They have the firepower. They can play some defense. And they have a goalie named Jonathan Quick who decided to have a career resurgence this year. He might be in the Vezina Trophy running at this stage in his career. How crazy is that? The other two, the problems I see with this division is Carolina, they can score. They can play defense. They don't have a goalie. Neither does Philly. Now, Philly plays a much better defensive structure than I think Carolina does. I think they might play the best defensive structure in that division outside of maybe it's a toss-up between Carolina, Philly, and the Islanders. I think Carolina is going to get the second spot in that division. I think Philly's playoff hopes hinge on whether or not they make a trade for a goalie at the deadline. Scott Earson, great feel-good story. I just don't know about him. Carter Hart's career is probably done. It's most certainly done in Philadelphia. He's never coming back to play for the Flyers. Now, that being said, the Devils are injury-prone. Hughes can't stay healthy. Pratt can't stay healthy. He sure has problems staying healthy. And like I said before, Hamilton's out long term. And they don't have a goalie either. So I think I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Flyers because I like their style of play better than the Devils. The Devils are a team that can go cold on offense. Philadelphia can also go cold, but they don't necessarily need to outscore their problems. I like them a little bit better, and I really like Philly in the playoffs. The way they played, Tortorella knows how to coach in the playoffs, so they could be sneaky. They're dangerous. I'd watch out for them. Plus, they've got a fully healthy Sean Couturier back, who just recently got named their captain. So watch out for them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been talking. If Gage was here, he'd be saying, speaking of goalie help, the Devils could, use someone to mind the crease. And, I'm looking at some of these goalies. I'm trying to find one that I think would be a good addition, but there's really nobody out there. There's really not a goalie that, you'd feel good about trading for that maybe you'd want. I'm still
Vejmelka, Gibson, Blackwood, Markstrom, Jari, maybe Montembeault. There's, like you said, there's not that many good options.
There's really not, and you're thinking what you're going to have to give up to get some of these guys, and it's just not there. It's almost like just maybe find some depth defensemen to stick out there on the ice and hope that solves your issue. But even then, we look at the defensemen.
No market for that either.
Yeah, it's really not. I mean, there's not a lot of help this year. I mean, you think about last year, the amount of help that you could get. It's not there this year. There's nobody there to get the help. And it's going to really, 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 really hurt some of these fringe teams.
I think the two best goalies on the market right now are Tristan Jarry and UC Saros.
Yeah.
Maybe Blackwood. Blackwood's going to get moved at the deadline. That's not even a question. Saros maybe. Markstrom should. I don't think Jarry's going anywhere. And I think teams need to call Pittsburgh and Kyle Dubas saying, hey, you guys aren't in the playoffs anyway. What do you want for Jarry?
Yeah.
Because there are plenty of teams that need goaltending help, including my favorite team.
Yeah, and I don't know if Saros is going to be on the block anyway because they're only 2 points out of a wild card spot.
Exactly.
I mean, there is just, you're talking about all the fringe teams. I mean, I was thinking Alex Lyon, and I look, the Wings are in a wild card spot. And you're just like, there's not a lot of help out there at any position realistically, unless you were going to pay for it. Like, you're going to have to send some capital. And at that point, you better be in a win now situation. Either way, it's going to be an interesting time coming up because we got the trade deadline coming up on March 8th. We'll touch that on our next episode, as well as give you our playoff predictions. But as of right now, that's all the time we got. That's all we got, man. We gave you our divisional breakdowns and gave you all the insights on all the divisions, how we see them playing out down the road as the season winds down to its final days. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on all of the Crease offerings on YouTube, as well as all of the other House Call channels on the YouTube. You can check those channels out on the YouTube channel for the Crease. You can also go to see all of our House Call content on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Spotify. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the content, help this community grow, and be sure to check out all of our affiliates on our website. That is at www.thehousecall.com. We'll see you next time. Peace.